So they reckon you get superpowers?
Seriously?
They reckon you can live to over 100 years old?
Yes.
Are you curious how the raw meat diet potentially impact on your health, or are you worried about the dangers of eating raw meat? Is it worth the risk? Let's find out. After a week of just being on this diet, in which I ended up facing digestive issues and ended up having to go on a 48-hour fast to correct them, so it kind of interrupted the flow of my experiment. I've done over 100 hours of research to uncover the truths behind it. Are the claimed benefits real? Are the risks too high? So join me and let's explore the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and threats of the raw meat diet. The raw meat diet is rapidly gaining popularity. Someone that is closely associated is Janus Vanderplants. Hope I pronounced that correctly. He believed eating uncooked animal products is essential for optimum health. So Vanderplants argued that raw meat retained the nutrients and beneficial bacteria that cooking absolutely destroys. He also suggested that the modern diets are filled with toxins, which is forcing our organs to work harder and not what they were originally designed for. So advocates claim that consuming raw meat improves the digestion, boosts your energy levels, and supports overall health. They often say by eating raw meat, the body can benefit from the natural enzymes and the vitamins like the B vitamins, calcium, and magnesium are more bioavailable compared to their cooked counterparts. So for the last 14 months, I've been on the carnivore diet and I've had some great successes on it. I've lost over 70 pounds and I've resolved numerous health issues, including being pre-diabetic, skin cancer, obese, high blood pressure, and my neighbours are over the moon that I've stopped snoring. However, while on the carnivore diet, I have noticed more and more people embracing the raw meat diet. So I decided to give it a go. Whereas the old cliche says, you can't knock it until you've tried it. So you would have seen over previous days my progress, and then I hit a bit of a stumbling block. So initially the taste was exceptional and was much sweeter than I had expected. However, by day 3, I started having problems. And it was a case of the digestion. I felt bloated, and later that day I started to feel nauseous, and then eventually, as my little niece would say, I ended up with bubble bum. So this became lesson number 1. Raw meat takes so much longer to digest than cooked meat, and I hadn't really primed myself correctly for the sudden switch. I had assumed, having been on the carnivore for so long, it wouldn't have been an issue, but how wrong was I? So this led to me being so bloated, I ended up taking just over 48-hour fast, which surprisingly wasn't that difficult because I just wasn't hungry. I was so full. Interestingly, as soon as people heard that I was eating a raw meat diet, they expressed concern about food poisoning and the parasites that you can pick up. I've been warned about everything from E. coli, botulism, rabies, and obviously our friendly tapeworms. I'm joking about the tapeworms. So from my research, Vanderplants was a major advocate of this particular diet. He argued that the body needs the bacteria in order to function properly, and that our sterile environment was a major contributor to a lot of our modern illnesses. A classic example he would use is he highlighted that E. coli is a natural part of our gut flora. It's critical for synthesizing vitamins like K2, as well as helping defend our immune system. So this brings me to the second finding, and it's predominantly about the importance of good hygiene practices and handling skills, and especially understanding with a raw meat diet the advanced planning that's required. So for example, it's often important to freeze your raw meat and then allow it to defrost, but how you do that process is also very important. I discovered that it's best to freeze your meat for up to 7 days before you start eating it, as it can neutralise the microbes, the bacteria, the yeasts and the moulds. It's also recommended that you thaw the meat in the fridge and you don't do it in a microwave. Some, like my friend the Dutch carnivore, he'll cure his raw meat with salt over a period of time, up to a week or longer. This is a method that has been used by many cultures that don't have the modern day appliances.
So where's the evidence?
Quite a few of the raw meat community pointed me towards a couple of studies. Pottinger's cats showed that cats that were fed on raw meat were healthier than those that were fed on cooked meat. And this study was over a number of years. Another study was Alexander Uglev's, I think I pronounced that right. Now his experiment demonstrated that raw meat digests more thoroughly due to the natural enzymes and the process hindered by cooking. And another area that was pointed out to me was about the Inuit people who consume a diet high in raw meat or fish and fat. And they're among metabolically the healthiest people on our planet. Now personally, I've only eaten raw meat over a 7-day period, which was broken up by the 48-hour fast. So it's too soon to expect me to show any significant benefits. However, my research found many long-term raw meat eaters. And you can see one when I interviewed Jacob, who'd been eating raw meat for over 16 years. I will tag his interview as one of the end cards at the end of this video. When you talk to advocates of the raw meat diet, what is common amongst them? They're all very passionate about this way of eating. And they report significant health improvements and high energy levels, even though most of it is anecdotal. However, from my own experiences on the carnivore diet, I've experienced these improvements myself. Combining that with the improvement in health benefits that I've personally experienced, and I've interviewed many people on this channel that have all experienced the similar type of health improvements. Now the question I've got to ask, but how much of this is due to eliminating processed foods and following a high-fat, low-carb diet? The question remains, does eating a raw meat diet surpass a cooked meat carnivore way? I can't conclusively say in such a short period of time on the raw meat diet if it is 100% better or not. But what I will do, I will persevere with it. And what I think I need to do, because from the research, and the third and final real key point that I discovered, was it can take up to 6 months for your body to adjust. So I think I need to continue my progression and then perhaps revisit this in a few months' time and take it from there. But it was interesting, and I will say I'm going to eat my meat more raw than I used to because that flavour is amazing. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will be posting day 7 shortly.